Welcome back to gamescom Studio here at IGN. I'm Damon Hatfield. I'm sitting here with my fellow Omega Cop, Sam Claiborne.
Hey, it's good to be here, Damon.
And Sam, it's hard to believe, that's a cliche we're not supposed to use in the industry. You don't open an article or video with "it's hard to believe." And yet, it is hard to believe that right over there is a giant booth for a 2D Castlevania game in the year 2026.
Yeah, like in 2026, a 2D Castlevania game has a giant E3 style booth.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it again, where you can just go play a Castlevania that feels like you're playing a game in 1996.
Well,
a sequel
yeah.
to Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse.
Yes, yeah, a sequel to that. I mean, back in '97, when Symphony of the Night was released, you go back and read EGM there. This game looks, or they would say this game is really fun in spite of looking really old. And now we're in the year 2026. And a 2D Castlevania game has its own booth. Sam got to play this new game, Castlevania Belmont's Curse, which I'm very excited for. It's out in just a couple months. Sam, please tell us your first impressions of playing this game.
So I went into this game really wanting to know, does this feel like the Symphony of the Night through the Game Boy era of Castlevania games? Now, there's been Castlevania games since then. There's the Dead Cells Castlevania spinoff. Yep. All those have different feels and they do their own thing. But this game, I really want it to look modern but feel old school. And I will tell you, it found a middle ground there because it feels great. First of all, I have no complaints. It feels faster and more agile than you've ever been as a Belmont, really. But what do you do in this game? You kind of maraud around a map. You pause a lot. You look at that map all the time, and you think, where am I supposed to be going right now? And that is my favorite type of game ever.
I mean, we talk about this on GameScoop, the only gaming podcast, quite often. What these games are about, Metroidvania games are about, they're about getting to a save point and then seeing how far you can push out, seeing if you can make it to the next save point.
Yep.
Like that's basically what you're doing in these games. And that appears to be what Belmont's Curse is, yes?
It's exactly what the gameplay loop is. And I think it's really neat that in old Castlevania games, you start out with this kind of Belmont shuffle. You can barely, you kind of move kind of slow. You can hop. Sometimes you can get up to the platform you're trying to hop to. Most of the time, Medusa's just going to knock you to your death.
Yep.
In this game, you actually come at it with a lot more skills to begin with. You can in the demo I played, I was already gripping a wall, bouncing off walls, jumping up, and then I got the grapple hook, and obviously grappling is the coolest thing you can actually do in a video game is having a grapple hook.
That's true.
Right? If it's part of your bionic arm, that's even better. But in this case, it worked out really well. So I had to kill a boss to get that upgrade, and then I was swinging around like a maniac, and it just felt like you just kind of moved to a quicker paced, more modern Castlevania quickly, but you still have to pause all the time, look at the map, and think, where the heck am I? Where is I supposed to be going?
In your brief time with the game, did you find turkey inside of a wall?
I 100% did.
Good.
I found a big, roast, juicy bust of turkey in the wall, and it was like totally right where you expected it.
There it is!
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is made by the folks behind Dead Cells and then the Return to Castlevania Dead Cells DLC. So Dead Cells obviously very inspired by Castlevania, and then Return to Castlevania, a very loving homage to Castlevania. But Dead Cells is pixel art. It's not pixel art. What do you think of the art style?
Yeah, so the art style, what it needs to do is match the ability to get around, the ability to kill skeletons and stuff like that, and kind of understand what you're doing. And everything just looks really clear and nice and honestly badass. And there's a little bit of a different thing this game is doing, which I thought made it feel a little bit more modern. So beyond the graphics, when you fight a boss and then you beat the boss, you get a skill. You get a passive, or you get I beat a boss and I got like the ability to throw a cross out that of course comes back to you.
Of course.
As crosses do.
And then you jump over it.
Yeah, then you jump over, exactly. And then he also gave me the grippy grappling hook thing. But what was cool about it is that after I killed that boss, he absorbed his power. A lot of these games, they could drop something, you kind of absorb it. That's how it all works. In this one, he talked. You have a conversation with that boss after that happens, and he's like, I don't know what happened there. I was just being a monster, and then somebody came and started whipping me with a whip. It's like in The Witcher when Geralt is like, I'll take care of your monster problem. And then he goes into a cave, and like some big monster's like, I wasn't even messing with them. And then Geralt's like, fine. How about we just settle this with gold? And then you kill the monster anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you do in this game. And I just thought that was kind of neat. There was a little bit of a voice acting part, and you kind of talk to the beast for a little bit.
Yeah. So Symphony of the Night is a loot game. You're constantly finding new weapons and armor that are increasing your stats or maybe decreasing your stats or adding buffs or nerfs. Is that part of this game as well?
So this game has a completely overhauled system where you have more of an RPG setup, and you should really check out our preview by Mitchell Saltzman because he explains how this works with the different weapons. But what I did find in whipping every wall, which looked like a dead end, which is a core element of the gameplay here, is I whipped too far once, and I discovered an attack power up. So it just gave me an attack up. And a lot of the other drops I saw were more like, a cup of tea that restored my health, meat behind walls,
spots of tea.
So yeah, it was more stuff like that. But obviously, I just explained that a monster dropped a giant weapon upgrade for me too. So there's that type of stuff.
Another couple cool details. We're playing as Rose Belmont, the daughter of Trevor and Sypha, who were both in Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, but also from the Netflix animated series. And what's cool is that Sypha is apparently in the game because the voice actress that played her in the Netflix series is here, and also the same voice actor that played Dracula is here in the game too. So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, what's even crazier is somehow Dracula came back.
Somehow Dracula returned.
The Drac came back, and so. Again, Dracula's Curse is Castlevania 3 for NES. And this is takes place a couple decades after that with the kids from two characters in that game, which is just the craziest thing. I just think it's really
This game is still set 200 years before the original Castlevania, though. So still in prequel territory.
Yeah, they had just kind of invented ways to hide meat in walls at this point. I think that's the lore, at least.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, so Castlevania Belmont's Curse is out October 15th. We're both lifelong Castlevania fans. I haven't gotten a chance to play it myself yet, but since Sam has, Sam, you're excited.
We got to go over there.
Well, we have to go to...
We'll go over there.
I don't know. It looks a little spooky.
It might be spooky.
But you came away.
It's spooky season, though.
It is. Well, it's almost spooky season. It can always be spooky season inside here.
There's a little skeleton.
What I'm trying to get you to say is whether or not you feel good about the game.
100%. I feel good about this game, and I can't wait to play more of it, which I'm going to go do.
Okay. Take me with you.
No one can stop me.
Castlevania Belmont's Curse out October 15th. For much more from Gamescom, stick with us right here at IGN.